Oh, there you are, YouTube. Hey everybody, so our buddy Huck over at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe just put out a community challenge asking people to name their top 5 on-screen duos. And I'm going to try my best to steer away from everything that Huck picked. So he basically picked the best ones, right? He picked some of the greatest out there. So I'm gonna pick some different ones here, go a little bit, I guess just my own taste, right? So here are my top 5 on-screen duos. Harold and Kumar. I love these guys. They're like the Odd Couple, right? One of them seems to have their life all together. This one does not, but in a strange way, because his is so organized and focused, it seems to be unraveling, and because his is so unraveled, he just seems to be as calm as a cucumber, right? It's really interesting. I love it. And this isn't the only time they're together. They're an on-screen duo here, and this might be my favorite one. It's a very emotional movie when they finally do get to White Castle, in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. But you can continue to watch them in movies like Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. And then you can also watch them in the Christmas classic Harold and Kumar, excuse me, A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. And this is one that we will pop in almost, you know, it's kind of become a Christmas tradition to watch this one. Sometimes we don't watch it, but we try to as much as we can because we really like it. But anyway, Harold and Kumar, I think they are one of my favorite pairings ever. The first film actually came out when I was an usher at a movie theater, and we all wore White Castle uniforms instead of, and White Castle like name tags and things like that instead of our movie theater name tags. So the promotion was really fun. There was a lot of people going to the movie, coming out laughing. It was just a really good time. So number 5, Harold and Kumar. And number 4, Joe and Bill and Joe from Twister. We got Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton in this movie. And this one, I just think they're a really fun pair. The movie starts with them on the road to divorce. The divorce papers are there. All they need to do is be signed, right? But then these tornadoes come into town and then just whirlwind blow them right together again. And it's just that climactic events that bring them back together and realize they are meant to be together. And I just think they're a really fun couple. You know, they got the same hobbies. They both chase tornadoes, and they're really witty towards each other. You know, they got these fun little jokes that they have together where they put each other down. But it's still it's done in a fun, humorous sort of way. But yeah, they are a great on-screen duo. I wish we could have seen them in a whole lot more together. But you know, we have Twister here, and I think they did a wonderful job here, and I really feel the chemistry between the two of them. And coming in at number 3 is Sideways, Miles and Jack. Miles and Jack right there. They're sort of an odd couple as well. They have this like long-standing friendship that you're sort of amazed that they haven't broken. It's like, why are these two friends? What is it? But when you sort of get to know them, you kind of understand why they are in a lot of ways dependent on one another. It's very funny movie, sort of a road movie right before a marriage, kind of like a bachelor party sort of thing. He's about to get married, so they hit up the countryside, the wine country, for some wine tasting, and then they sort of go do unexpected things that were not originally part of the plan, and it's really fun. I love the way they talk to one another. They're a great comedic duo here, and I'd love to see them working together more. It'd be great because they really work well in this, and this is one of my favorite movies of all time right here. And number 2 is Stoney and Link right here on the cover. This is kind of interesting because they're actually a group of 3 friends. Sean Astin should be here too. Sean Astin, in a lot of ways, is actually the lead. He really is the lead. And Stoney here, Pauly Shore, is sort of like third wheel once Link joins in, right? But for me as a kid, these two were the ones I was interested in. I love them. Pauly Shore was just a fashion icon to me, and I think that's why I associate them together so much, because when we look at Link, we don't see him adopting Sean Astin's style. We see him more following what Stoney has presented culturally to him. So we're seeing a lot of Pauly Shore's fashion come into Brendan Fraser's wardrobe. We're seeing the slang that Pauly Shore uses come into into Link's mouth. Like that's what he begins saying. So the two of them, I always see them as a duo, even though Sean Astin is definitely a part of this group. They are definitely a trio, but for me, I look at them as a duo, Stoney and Link, or should I say Link and Pauly Shore, because this isn't the only time they're together. Sure, it's the first time they're together, but they are also together in Son-in-Law. That's right, Link shows up. So Pauly Shore's playing a different character, but Link, Brendan Fraser, does show up in this movie for a quick cameo.
Great costume!
And not only in Son-in-Law, but also in the Army Now, which I am embarrassed to admit I don't own. I need to change that very quickly. But Link also, and look at what he's wearing on his uniform. It says Link, so it is Link. He shows up in the Army Now.
Don't eat the chicken. And it tastes just like frog. Or, you know, yeah. Thanks. Enjoy.
We have a pairing, we have their pairing in multiple films, in 3 films. So that's really exciting. I love that, to see the two of them, and it just only strengthens their bond as a duo. Sorry, Sean Astin, but the two of them, they go together like lamb and tuna fish. And number 1, my favorite on-screen duo is Joe Fox and Kathleen Kelly in You've Got Mail. And this one's kind of a cheat because not only is it this movie, but it's actually 2 other movies as well. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan also appear together in Sleepless in Seattle. The two of them, they're just so great together. Even though in this movie they're actually not together like side by side very much. And then we have them, the first time I ever saw them together was Joe versus the Volcano, and I guess this was their first outing together as well. But they just really made an impact here, and it was really cool to just see them continue to work together. And then I know they worked together again in a movie that the name's not coming to me right now, but Meg Ryan directed a feature, and Tom Hanks is in it as well. But I'd love to see them together in a big studio film. It would be great. But what they have here, the chemistry is just amazing in all 3 of these movies. But this one here, this one is one that gets watched every year. I used to watch it year-round. This has always been one of my favorite movies. But when I married my wife, her family actually had this movie as a Thanksgiving tradition. They would always watch it at Thanksgiving. So I watch it much less now than I used to, but the importance of it has changed, and it's become sort of a much more important movie because it only gets watched once a year in a sort of like in a Thanksgiving tradition sort of way. So its impact has only grown for me, and it's really cool that I married somebody who also loves it, and loves it so much that her family watches it every Thanksgiving. So yeah, I watch it much less, but again, its meaning feels a lot stronger. Absolutely love this movie, and again, it's sort of a cheat because it's not just Joe Fox and Kathleen Kelly, it's Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. They are my favorite on-screen duo. So to recap, we have Harold and Kumar at number 5. At number 4, we have Joe and Bill. Me, Joe.
Me, Joe!
And then number 3, we have Jack and Miles in Sideways. And then we have Stoney and Link in Encino Man. And then finally, Joe Fox and Kathleen Kelly in You've Got Mail. Huck, this was a really fun challenge. I encourage everybody to make a similar video documenting their top 5 on-screen duos. Thank you so much for watching, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout. Bye.